Beauty industry specifically capitalizes on insecurities.
There's so much more at stake, and to put yourself out there despite all of that and come bareface on camera, talk about your acne, talk about hair loss, talk about your journey as a creator. I think it's so brave of all of us.
Every time somebody's gonna say something, but that's also insecurity there. So unfortunately, I feel bad for them and not for the people like ourselves.
Hello and welcome to this very special session at Cannes. We're going to talk to creator entrepreneurs and actors who are pushing global boundaries. I'm Mehkas Baker, the editor-in-chief at Brut, and I'm joined by three wonderful, lovely voices and women who are pushing boundaries and doing global creations. Welcome, ladies. How does it feel to be at Cannes?
Oh, it feels absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for having us and for giving us creators this amazing platform, for amplifying our voices, and really grateful to be here. And I feel like it's our time, the moment is here that all of us creators stand neck to neck with some of the most global icons in the world, and feels amazing. Yeah.
Amazing. You walked the Cannes red carpet. What was the experience like, Anushka?
Oh, the experience was just a dream come true. Like I was just telling you that it has always been my dream to come here. And as an actor, all you want to do is just, represent cinema, represent your country. And it was just wonderful. It was just perfect. And I just had the best time.
Amazing. What about you?
Thank you, Meg. It's surreal. Somebody who grew up obsessed with world cinema, being at the red carpet of Cannes. Literally, it's an honor, it's a dream come true. और ऊपर से मैं अपनी brand को भी represent कर रही थी. So I literally was my brand yesterday. And just to be at such a global stage, and as Nitibha spoke so beautifully, coming neck to neck with these global icons, isn't it? It just feels like a proud moment. हम अपने देश को represent कर रहे हैं यहाँ.
My first question is to both the business women with me here. I want to start maybe, you could tell me, Parul, how was it to build your brand? Did you have, for example, capital right up? As a woman who was setting up her own business, tell us a little bit about that journey in sourcing capital.
To be honest, my product was such that nobody was doing before. So I had to not spend so much money, and luckily because I was already into one profession, which is of acting, so I could use a little bit of my own money. And as stupid as it may sound, as unrealistic as it may sound, I only spent 4,000 INR. That's it.
4,000 INR of capital you began with.
Yes,
your own
5
money.
is what I say on a lump sum amount, because 4 is just so unrealistic. But literally, I spent just 5,000 rupees.
When you
That's it.
began.
Yeah, and that's something you all can. So I feel when you truly want to start a business and you believe in it, money just comes. It happens. So if somebody who has less resources of money or knowledge, I had no business school education. I did not know how to manage money or how capital works. It's just because I had the will to do it, hence I could do it.
So Parul, you put your money into the business when it began. Tell us a little bit about no seeding, no funding rounds that you wanted to go through. It took off just with that vision and that product and identifying a gap in the market which was there.
Absolutely, because hair loss is something that women face. Alopecia is such a common disease that no one speaks about. I wanted to build makeup for hair, which I did with Niche Hair. Because when you wear makeup and you can be like, oh, it's so easy. And I'm sure you're wearing your makeup today, which is beautiful. I love your brand. I'm yet to get a hamper.
You're yet to do PR.
That's a pitch. She's pitching for the hamper.
No, we're sending some to Brut, so we'll be sending some to you. Niche Hair as well. Niche Hair is always all the way.
waiting for it. So, yeah, so I was just saying I wanted to build, so I was just trying to fill the gap in the market.
Fill the gap in the market.
And it worked out beautifully because I built India's first .com of hair extensions, nichehair.com.
First.com of hair extensions. Nitibha, what about you? What was your journey like while building Alt-K? And how did you do it with content creation, being a creator, and building a business side by side?
Well, for me as a creator, I think my capital was my content creation journey. I think that was the
Interesting.
base that we sort of started with. And I always had a vision where I wanted to do something very international in terms of not just the brand look and feel, but in terms of the formulations. So as you would know, or maybe if you don't know, or if you guys don't know, our product, the hero product, is the tinted serum. So that is 90% skincare ingredients, but gives you the coverage of a foundation. So it's actually healing your skin while you're applying a serum, right? And to build or develop something like that, we did want to mobilize international and national resources both. So we are a brand that is very proud to be developed and researched in Sweden. We have collaborators across Singapore, and we have our manufacturing plant in Delhi, in Noida. So we have really taken the world to be a global village and put India on the map, because we feel like, as Indians, we really need to mobilize all resources to ensure that our product is of the highest quality, and that's what we've achieved with AltCare.
All right, thank you for that. Sarah,
Thank you.
welcome to the panel. We are just discussing at the moment on how all of you began the businesses, right? And whether you went through seeding rounds, what was it like to raise the initial capital as content creators to launch that business?
I started Impulse Coffees when I had less than 500K on YouTube as well. YouTube being my primary social media platform. I know everyone waits for that social media following to gather and then start a business. But I was just fresh out of college and looking for a side hustle. I just wanted to try my hand at business and see how I can do this. So with that intention, I don't think I was confident enough to raise funds. I was not confident enough to do anything. I don't come from a business background. I have come from a business family, but I don't come from a business background. And I was out of medical college. So I had literally no idea how to do this. But I knew for sure that if content creation tanks, I need something to back me up. And so I was like, okay, I need to do something. And I didn't want to do beauty products back then because, again, the capital you need for beauty brands is a lot. I'm sure Nitaba knows that. You need a lot more capital to start a beauty brand, and that's not the kind of capital I had as savings. I took a loan from my dad's friend, and I then started Impulse Coffees because I was very, very passionate about coffee. The brand itself says Impulse because I literally act on impulse, and I think it's always the best because I do not overthink my decisions a lot. I don't sit and brood on them. My coffee is 100% made in India. It has no chicory. It's premium freeze-dried coffee. And what I really, really want to maintain in today's date and age also is the quality of the coffee that I'm bringing to the table. Because I think with the world becoming so expensive, everything becoming expensive, adulteration in food is one of the major things that we are facing today. And that's one thing I do not want to, because I have seen, I might be wrong, but I have seen that when investors come into the picture, there's a lot of pressure to raise money faster. You have to, your job is to multiply their money. So even today, 3 years into the business, I have been profitable since day one. Actually, when I started the business, I was not even sure how many people would buy. I was going to ship it from my house. And then the first orders hit and I was packing boxes and boxes and boxes, and I was like, this is too much work. So then I got into the logistics and, found out how people do this and gave logistics partners and everything. So I learned along the curve, and 3 years into it, I'm much more confident, and I still feel like I can handle this. Of course, I want investors along the way to scale it to the next level, but I never want the pressure to compromise the quality of the product. Just so that I can make profits. And right now, since that is in my hand, I can truly, truly bring the best to the table. Like, no matter how expensive the raw materials get, I know how to cut costs at other ends to make sure I'm still bringing the best coffee to the table.
Bringing the quality in there. Sarah, you made a very interesting point, and I'd like to get Anushka in here. So Anushka, what I want to ask you is that Sarah started her business saying, I don't know how long content creation is going to pay. So let me start a side hustle to count on. Tell me a little bit about what it's like for you. I know you've stepped into acting, you're an actor from the content creator bit, but is that something which is constantly playing back for a lot of content creators behind in their mind, that this is something, it's going good so far, but we do need to diversify, whether it's in business, whether it's in acting, whether it's as a singer. Tell me a little bit about how you thought of it when you began.
So I began when I was about 6 years old. I started with dancing, and I didn't think it would be a profession for me, but I actually wanted to become a computer engineer and a choreographer by the side. I knew that, like, it was my plan, and I love dancing.
What a panel, right? We have ex-Google, we have doctors,
No, but
starting
I'm
all
not an
off?
engineer.
You're
I'm a filmmaker.
You're a
I studied
filmmaker.
filmmaking.
Studied filmmaking.
So
Okay.
yeah, so but that's how my journey began. I was a dancer, and then I got into acting at the age of 7. And that time it was just TV and films, and OTT wasn't a part of this world. But then growing up, I realized that okay, I've been doing ad films and TVs. Let me just experiment a little bit and do something other than TV. And then I went into doing art films, and that taught me so much about my craft, and I got better at it. I got a different perspective on it. And after that, OTT began. I also did a reality show. So I've always been like experimenting different mediums. Then content creation began. So that was just a part of my acting bit. It just goes hand in hand for me. And I don't know about others, but for me, I have always kind of try to be multifaceted. I try to experiment and keep my options open. But it's not because there's a fear that something might not work out. Because in any form of art, I feel there's no stability, and that's the beauty of it. Because there's no consistency. You can just discover things that you didn't even dream of, right? Like me being at Cannes today, sitting with all these self-made women. I mean, that's amazing. That I probably didn't think 5 years ago I would be here. Of course, I was manifesting it, but it just turned out like that. It's been 15 years in the industry, and I'm just learning and growing and trying my best, and that's all I can do.
15 years from the age of 6 and a natural extension. That's
Yeah.
quite a journey, Anushka. Very quickly, I also want to talk to you a little bit about the kind of brand ambassador you've been. I think you have been pushing global boundaries as well. You're an ambassador for Korean tourism.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about how do you push, and pick in terms of global branding, and that's something I'd like to delve into with all of you, with your products and businesses as well.
So any opportunity I get to represent my country, I'm all for it. I try my best because it's a big responsibility. I'm very grateful that I've gotten the opportunity to represent India internationally, especially at a country which I love and adore, because the cinema in Korea and the content that they make is just so beautiful. I fell in love with it when I was watching K-dramas during the COVID time. And then I started working on a project called Asia, and we've been working on it for about 2 years now. Then I became the ambassador. And there was this event where I was representing India globally. It was a New Year's event, and I was walking on a stage, and everybody was, shouting my name and making hearts for me. And I did my namaste here also. Everybody is talking about my namaste. So any moment I get to represent my country, I am all for it.
All right, represent the country, any moment, any platform you get. Parul, yours was a really interesting journey. It came up with the business and then the content creation. And of course, you've delved into acting as well. Tell me a little bit about how do you manage both the business as well as making sure that you're putting it out there in terms of content creation, and also pushing it a bit further. Do you think almost all brands now need to be at the forefront of content creation as far as distribution is concerned?
Absolutely. This was such a deep question, and there were so many layers, just like a movie. I think everybody made such a great point, and I would agree with everybody on this. But when it comes to managing, I think everybody is doing more than one thing. I think why women are asked even this question. Women are multi-talented. They can multitask, and that's our superpower. Another thing you asked, how... There were 3-4 questions. Content
So,
creation.
pardon me. I think I put
you put three questions and one question.
So the first, let's begin with your journey. For you, the business was the launching pad,
Yeah.
and then content. You made sure that you're building the distribution also as a content creator. So my
Yeah.
question to you is, how important is distribution?
So
as
to
a
me,
content
it came
creator?
naturally because I started acting. For me, it's been 14 years acting, but I'm almost double your age. She's a baby. I started acting when I was 17. And so being in front of a camera is the only thing I knew.
Okay.
जब से मैंने होश संभाला. So for me, just putting my phone and talking about my brand is the only thing I knew. I thought no one else will do this for me. That was my thing. I was like, क्यों कोई मेरा product लेके product के बारे में बोलेगा अगर मैं नहीं बोल सकती तो. So that was a conscious decision, and then now it's became a thing कि personal branding एक चीज़ होती है. आप creator हैं, then you need to have your product, or you need to speak about your product to the public. So that came naturally to me. And when it comes to how I'm managing multiple things is because my work never feels like a work to me. I mean, I don't even think it's work. It's something that I'm so passionate about my business, about my acting, about creating content that's original. So it gives me a kick. अगर मैं एक दिन नहीं करती, मुझे लगता है मेरा दिन नहीं complete हुआ है. चाहे इन तीनों में से कोई भी एक चीज़ हो. और I think Cannes is a place where you get to be anything and everything, and it enables that in you.
Enables that in you. So work doesn't feel like work, and that's how you've been able to manage all the different facets that you are
Yes.
into. Nithiba, I want to get you in here. I want to talk a little bit about how would you represent your brand globally? What is in the offing when it comes to Alt K? You said, especially, you made a very important point on the panel where you said that you're pushing, you have a gap in the market where it's also about making a difference to your skin as you can take care of it. So tell us a little bit about, in terms of globally, how are you going to push your brand? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I think just like everybody here, my journey started on a very personal level. I just started sharing about my journey with my skin, which was extremely compromised. I had extremely bad acne at one point, and I just started sharing about it online, and a lot of women resonated with it. A lot of people actually got adult acne, and it was an issue that was so prevalent that I realized that people who love makeup like me, because we're in front of the camera, or just generally passionate about makeup or find it therapeutic, they find it as a daily struggle to have a product that can actually work for them without ruining their skin or compromising or clogging their pores. So for me, it was a personal struggle. And when I had all these women come up to me and talk to me about, how did you make your skin better, I realized that the one thing that was in common in that 2-year of healing journey for me was trying out different products. And in that 2-year span, I was actually trying out my own tinted serum, which is the product that I was just talking about. And I realized that the 90% skincare ingredients not only gave me the confidence to wear it on a daily basis, but in those 2 years, it also healed my skin.
Right.
And I felt like that was so empowering that I could actually wear makeup and not feel like it's clogging my pores and look my best while my skin is healing on its own. So I felt like this is something that I truly have to bring to the market, and I wanted to mobilize all sorts of resources to make it happen. And when we got to know that the company that was formulating, so we got this as a sample, and I tried it out for a few months and I loved it. So I reached out to the developers. They were based out of Sweden, so we had to connect with them. So we got a Singapore-based incubator to connect us to them. So now it's become like this global thing, where we have a Singapore-based incubator, we have Swedish formulators, we have our manufacturing happening in Delhi, because we obviously wanted to mobilize Indian resources and make it a made in India product. So I feel like all of that came together so beautifully. And it's always about putting India on the global map, and it's not just about completely made in India formulations. It's also about seeing how can we cross collaborate, how can we use the world as a global village to come up with something that can be a solution to a lot of Indian women or men for that matter.
So a Make in India global product already has a global link and chain. And,
Absolutely.
And a Make in India product at that. And of course, you did put at the center adult acne, which is such an important topic to discuss, and not a lot of people would discuss it because of insecurities. I want to get Sarah in here. Sarah, unlike Parul and Nitanshi, what we have here is you have Impulse Coffee, right, which is very different from the content that you make. Your content is all on beauty.
Yes.
So tell us, I know you started it as a hustle, but tell us, do you have sort of a left and right brain working differently when it comes to the coffee bit and the content bit?
I have multiple sides in my brain. I feel sometimes I have like these tabs open, and I'm conscious. I work out of my home, and my home is my office. So I have my Impulse team and my Sara Saroj team.
Okay.
And I'm constantly juggling between the two. And I think that is like Gulati rightly said that, we all are as women such multitaskers from the beginning. Seen my mom do this, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can do this as well, this as well, this as well. And that's precisely how my brain is always working. My content was only beauty initially, but then when I was going to start Impulse Coffees, I very consciously also shifted to lifestyle content. So YouTube being my primary platform, that is where I can actually mobilize my crowd to I feel like YouTube still in today's time has that purchasing power, and you can convince people more easily on YouTube because they see your daily, like at least for me, they see my daily life. That's how I've made my audience so connected with me, because they see me hustle on the daily basis, go through failures, go through success, go through everything, and that's all these tabs in my head, they're all out in display in my vlogs for people to see. And that connection that I've built with the audience allows them to trust my product and anything I bring to the table. So recently when I collaborated with a makeup brand, Pack Cosmetics, who's partnered with me today for Cannes as well, and I brought out a collection, like the audience just went mad and they bought it like instantly. They sold out on Nykaa within one day. So that's the kind of trust that I've built with Impulse Coffees. I feel like I brought that to the table first. Let people know that I'm not doing this just for fun. Like I will bring something to the table. Anytime my name is attached to something, I will ensure that I will bring quality to the table and not just do it for namesake. And that trust has been built with my audience. And now, since I'm debuting at Cannes this year, we've also started international shipping at Impulse Coffees. So finally, everyone who watches me abroad and, has always like I've had viewers who've made their relatives get their coffee from India. And there was such a pinch me moment because when I was a Indian person, I used to watch these American creators buy their products via my relatives. And now when this is happening to my brand, it was like crazy to me every time somebody would buy from India and get their relatives to ship coffee to them. So now finally we have international shipping on the website. They can just go on impulsecoffees.com and place their order. So I really wanted to do that before I reach.
You're running and pushing international boundaries and working from home. So that's a lot of young viewers will be taking that note. I want one last question to all of you, and we can begin with Nithiba. Nithiba, tell us. A lot of times social media and beauty creators, are critiqued because people think that they do capitalize on insecurities where women are, as far as young women are concerned, young girls are concerned. What is your take on that?
Well, I think no matter what you do online, there's always going to be certain opinions. Everybody will have an opinion because you're putting yourself out there, and putting your insecurities out could be seen as a way to mobilize people to buy your product. But what I see that is as courage. I see that as the highest form of authenticity, because putting yourself out there, no matter how many sales you're getting out of it, it's always going to be tough, no matter what level you're at. And us having worked in this industry, as all of us have been here, done that for like the last more than 5 years at least, I would say, for all of us, I think it becomes harder and harder as you grow, because the more you grow, the bigger brands you collaborate with, the bigger stages you're exposed to. There's so much more at stake. And to put yourself out there despite all of that and come bareface on camera, talk about your acne, talk about hair loss, talk about, your journey as a creator, I think it's so brave of all of us, and we should all be applauded instead of critiqued for this.
Applauded to putting yourself out there every single day,
and for being so courageous to do that.
For being so courageous. Thank you, Nithiba, for that. Anushka, what do you have to say on that?
I have to say that it's all about perspective, and somebody has to go out there and be authentic, because first the conversation used to be that, everybody's just showing the good side of the life, and that used to be everybody's
this is not real.
Now it's like, now it's too real. So now that you're talking about, so see, it's just like she rightly said, that every time somebody's gonna say something, but that's also insecurity there. So unfortunately, I feel bad for them and not for the people like ourselves who are doing our best to empower people. This is all about empowerment, and not feeling like the audience never feels with us, at least, that this is somebody, a celebrity. They feel like it's one of us who's gone out there and making us proud, and I love that. At least with me, my fans, the connection that I've built over the years, all I feel is that I'm part of that community, and I'm trying to tell the stories that we all are going through. Like, I'm 22, so when you're growing up, there's so many things that goes on in your life, and as an actor, or even just a girl. So there's so much happening already. But with trolls or with people who are commenting negative, honestly, I do not care. So it's fine.
Yeah. No time to care about the negative comments when you're building something. Parul?
That is true, that the beauty industry specifically capitalizes on insecurities, or that's how you see it. But I see it differently. I see it as more than capitalizing, we are trying to bring relatability to brands, whether as creators, whether as a founder. For her, it's a relatable issue. She tried to create a cure for somebody who may have adult acne, and she infused skincare into makeup. For me, genuinely, my hair in my life has never been beyond my shoulder length, and I always wanted long hair, so I created something for women like me whose hair just doesn't grow. And then I realized, yes, people are losing hair. So it was for me, I was creating a solution more than harping on someone's insecurity. I was like, okay, you have this problem. I'm going to build the best solution in hair for you. And whether she brings smile through her content, she's bringing skincare, she is waking people up with her coffee. It's just what an amazing panel to be a part of. And I think we are not, I mean, people really need to see it as we are bringing relatability through our content or our products.
Relatability through the content, and so supportive of each other. Sarah, you have the last word on this.
I think everyone covered literally like what Nithiba said and what Anushka said is rightly. Like, you know, everyone will always have something to say. And first it was too fake. First it was too filtered. First we did not have relatable people on magazine covers. We could not relate to anyone out there. Now you have the diversity, you have the inclusivity, and you're suddenly having a problem with that too. So I feel like
Haters gonna hate.
exactly. You just gotta keep doing what you're doing. And I honestly feel really, really honored to be here because all of you all are such an inspiration as well. I watch all of your content and I think, consumed your brand. I love your content. So I'm so grateful to be here. It's really, truly an honor. And I think lifting women up is what we need today because we've seen enough of pulling each other down, I think, in the past. And we get that at home with relatives and all. We should actually, you know, encourage each other in the community we are, because this is already quite... you know, it is a very daunting space to be in. Like, we might all like feel like confident and look really clean on the outside, but everybody inside is also, we all fight our own insecurities too, but we come out of it and we still shine. So we got to keep shining, right?
Keep shining, fighting your own insecurities and building others up by putting themselves out there. Parul, Anushka, Nithiba, Sarah, thank you so much for speaking to Brut.
Thank you.